Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Give me a little sip of water here. Welcome to the World's Hottest Pepper Show, episode 2. We're still kind of getting started here with getting things together. I'm out potting these, what are they? They're Chile de Agna. So we're going to put these in here. I'll show you what I'm doing, and then we got some other stuff going on. We got these to up pot. We got some that are a little more mature that we're doing, and we got the seeds over here. Now these seeds are going to actually probably be the seeds that we use for the world's hottest pepper to go for the record. We've got I'm putting some one-shot granules in here to give these a little bit of food to work with, and then I will show you. Put that. I'm going to get these in here, but first what I'm going to do is I use some Bigfoot Mycorrhizae. I'll just keep talking as I'm going about this and about what else we got going on. I'm going to get this here. And a little bit of that in there. Put this back on. Put this into the where the root zone is going to be. This is the Bigfoot granular, which is very good for this sort of thing, where you put it in where exactly the roots are going to be when you're repotting or up potting, that sort of thing. Sometimes I put a little on here as well. When you're actually doing this for a re-inoculation, you're going to want to use, what is this one? This one is one where you actually mix this up with some water and then use that, pour it over the top to get your mycorrhizal. Make sure you keep your mycorrhizal fungi in your plant there. We got that going. Get some agua on the agna. Yeah, so I'll just keep going with these, getting these done. But I've got a couple things for you to watch. The first thing is the other day, Colin from downstairs and the other guys are helping us with the show. They're actually getting the grow room down there, the serious grow room. We got a little grow room up here, but it's just some lights and some trays. Down there, we've got actually a controlled environment. They're going to be down. Oh, forgot this. See, I get distracted while I'm talking. Down in there. They're going to be getting that all cleaned up, and Colin was working on it the other day. He had the whole suit on and everything. I got some video of that of me talking to him about what you do with cleaning the room and all that. And then after that, I've got a second video. I'll do some little interstitial, that was a big word, interstitial between those two about what we got going. But John Ford is actually going to be here in just a little bit. That's not true. He was here yesterday. It was yesterday when we did the video. It's obviously not going to be in sequence. Oh, itch on my nose there. Because you'll see that I shaved today, and yesterday I had a reasonably large beard. No Scott Ostrander beard or anything like that, but it was a little beardy. So I'm just rambling. So let me just back up and go. I'm planting these all up, and then we're going to do the seeds and stuff probably next time on the show. In this show, we're going to have, I'll show you that clip with Colin where he's talking about cleaning up. And I'll show you the clip with me and John where we're talking about pepper culture and, kind of the pepper industry and what's all involved in that. Kind of maybe get a little excited about trying to grow the world's hottest pepper. And what I'd like you to do after is maybe think about what you think the pepper show should be, because when we started the other shows we've been doing, they weren't at all what I thought they should be after you and I talked back and forth about it. So I hope that some of you will get on board with us doing this world's hottest pepper thing, because it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a competition. It's something we can, fight it out with other people about. So you and I and all of us will get into the spirit of the whole thing, and it'll be fun. But watch the 2 clips, and then I'll talk to you after. Hey there! So we're getting serious about cleaning the room. Blaine's in there putting a work light up, so we don't have to have the whole lights on, so you don't get blinded. And what do you got going here?
I'm fully suited up. We're gonna do a pretty intense hydrogen peroxide.
Using the Xylitol, right?
Xylitol,
Which
yeah,
is a little different kind of.
Yeah, it's got the hydrogen peroxide in there, so getting all safe. You know, I don't want to burn any skin or anything like that. So we're wearing a full protective suit, eyewear, and gloves to make sure.
My understanding is the eyes are the most important thing. Permanent eye damage.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing to, take lightly. It's
now,
some serious.
It doesn't say on the label, I don't believe, anything about air, breath control thing, but a lot of times you wear like a little mask when you're doing that? Yeah, just to be on better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting serious about the pepper thing. We're going to get the room totally clean, and then we're going to put the tomatoes in there.
Yeah.
Crash test dummy kind of situation while we're growing up there. So I guess the plan is that we're going to upstairs start working on those peppers. We got the secret pepper. We'll mention that later on. It's going to be the one. Plus some other peppers we're going to be working with for some testing stuff. We'll get them all healthy because they came from outside, and so they need to get kind of quarantined and moved in there.
Sure.
And then down here we're going to be doing some tomatoes. And once those guys are big and strong, ready to come down here, they'll come down here, and the tomatoes will go back up there, or maybe go to our homes.
Yeah. Maybe harvest at that time, so we'll see.
That would be exciting. What kind of tomatoes are they?
They're Tiny Tims, so we got a bunch of really, really small varieties. There's a bunch of different kinds, but all pretty, about 1 to 2 feet tall. So pretty small guys, but fun to play with. So.
Well, there's the update on that. Good luck with that. We'll follow you along as you're cleaning up in there. I'm gonna go back up, work on some stuff up there, and we're getting this going.
Get scrubbing.
World's hottest pepper.
Sounds good.
So that was pretty cool. I sure appreciate Colin and everyone downstairs helping out with this whole thing, because I gotta say, I was kind of falling behind with all the stuff I got up here, all the stuff with the show and the other show and all that. So it's super cool that they're helping. Plus, more than just them helping, I think it's pretty neat that we're all working together on this. I think when we hopefully succeed with having the world's hottest pepper, that all of them and me and John Ford and everybody here and all of you can, feel like we can celebrate the victory together. So that's that. John actually came in yesterday, and we were talking about the show and talking about the pepper culture and all the festivals and about hot sauce and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know if it'll be too interesting. I'm worried that this episode is kind of boring. So we'll talk about that after this. But take a look at this episode, or not episode, but this clip from me and John, and then I'll talk to you after. Hey there, John's here. He just stopped by. Gonna be hanging out with us for a little while. We're gonna talk about this. We did the first show. It was like the first show, but I feel like this is the first show.
This is, man.
Yeah.
This is my lane. This is what I like to talk about. We could go for hours and hours and hours just talking peppers, talking the industry, talking about the drama, talking about the love of growing, peppers, and
cool. So, but before we do that, I wanted to say, you've actually been around OCG longer than I have.
I have.
Yeah, so you were just growing peppers, right? And you wandered into the store. How did that start? Why did you pick OCG to come in here? And then what happened when you got here, and how did that build a relationship and stuff?
I think the first time I came in was at the old West 11 site, and I came in to have some soil tested. Oh. And I came in, and Johnny, I think, was at the old West 11 site. Little shout out to Johnny. He's a good dude. Came in to get the soil tested, and he shared his love for peppers with me. He's like, "Oh man, I'm growing these peppers at my house with some T5 lighting, and talked about how many peppers he's producing. We just got to talking about peppers, man, and that's how it started, that relationship. And
because you've been outdoor at that point, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started talking peppers, and next thing you know, I'm bringing in all these chili pepper starts to Johnny, and I don't know if you remember the old site, but they had a grow tent over there and a few other locations around the windows.
I remember seeing it. It's funny because Scott, I knew Scott decades ago, a long time ago, but I had kind of lost touch with him. And when we got back, kind of to hanging out again and everything, I started working here. It was right when they were moving to the new store, when we were moving to the new store on Garfield Street. And so I never actually walked inside the West 11 store. I remember driving by there and saying, what a hole in the wall compared to the Springfield store. And now the Springfield store is kind of the small store. Gene was the monster on the block.
Yeah.
So Johnny was pretty accomplished with the peppers too, but didn't have like maybe your depth of experience. Was more of a hobbyist kind of guy, and you probably learned from him, and he learned from you because he knew more about the indoor gardening. Because you started doing a little bit of at least part of your process indoors, right?
Yeah, I started, all my propagation indoors, but he turned me on to growing hydroponic.
Oh, and, wow! Okay.
Kind of walked me through their process, and they had a tent that they put a couple of my pepper plants in there and grew hydro.
And they were probably just
they
go
monsters,
nuts,
man.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually gave them a couple of my favorite hottest peppers to grow in there, and it was cool because I was actually Johnny was producing peppers for me during wintertime.
Oh wow!
And I had
It's a
sent
new
a couple.
experience.
I sent a couple of those peppers out, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is the hottest pepper I've ever eaten." It was pretty ridiculous.
So what did you find with were there trade-offs with doing it hydroponically over doing it in the soil as far as flavor or hotness or anything like that? Or?
It definitely increased the heat.
Uh-huh.
I think once you turn off the solution or the water, and just cause that drought. Like we talked about before, it really sucks the water out of the peppers and leaves all the oil and the flavor and sugar. Yeah.
How did you get started being about peppers? What?
Well, it was, I think I told you about going over to my buddy's house. Yeah, he had that one ghost.
Yeah, it was all ragged and everything.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I gained this obsession to want to grow peppers, and there I was Googling chili pepper seeds and purchasing all these seeds, online at 2 o'clock in the morning. And next thing you know, I had like 20 plants in this little makeshift PVC greenhouse on the side of the house. I had like 20 plants, and then next thing I know, it grew to 100 within about a month. And
hobby became obsession, became unhealthy.
Yep.
Became a profession.
Yeah, and I had so many plants, I didn't know what to do with them, and then I started selling them on Craigslist here locally.
Okay, so now how did you know that was even a thing? Because you're growing your peppers. Were you aware that there was a larger pepper community of people that were hobbyists around this thing?
I didn't until I started selling the plants on Craigslist.
Okay.
And then, kind of got introduced to the community here and all the buzz. And next thing you know, I think that was probably around the time that I joined social media.
Oh, okay, sure.
And, I started, getting into these groups, these chili pepper groups. And then I'm selling, chili pepper plants online, and that's a whole nother story in itself right there.
What's the story of that?
Kind of ties into the drama, and just the sort of
the shadiness
factor of the chili pepper community. I started selling chili pepper plants online, and I quickly found out who would be my competition. Somebody actually turned me into the Oregon Department of Agriculture plant division for selling chili pepper plants through the mail. And I was in the process of getting because you have to have a small nursery stock license to be able to ship plants out of state or even in state.
Also, like if you give your buddy a plant, that's fine, but if you get $1 from him, you're now a farmer basically.
Well, yeah, but if you're shipping it across the border into another state, you have to have your permit.
Okay.
So I was in the process of getting that license, but I was still selling plants online. And I get this letter from the Oregon Department of Agriculture here in Salem saying that this individual, which happened to, he left his name, his full name. He wanted to know.
He wanted me to know
who turned me in. And it was a competitor, a guy that sold plants down in Southern California. And he was selling his plants for $6 to $8 a plant, and I was selling mine for $2 a plant. But I was growing everything in 72 cell trays and selling the plug plants.
Oh,
and
sure.
I was shipping them bare root, so I would just wrap them up and ship them.
Oh, okay.
And it kept my costs down.
Oh, yeah, to where it made sense to sell them for that.
I didn't
put the pot in the dirt and all
pots, all the dirt. I didn't have to buy those customized boxes for the plants. I just put them in a small flat rate box and shipped them off.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I made quite a bit of money the first couple of years doing that. I didn't do it last year just because I had a lot of personal stuff going on, and it just takes up way too much time.
Oh, I can imagine just packing them up and shipping them off and all that sort of thing, let alone the growing and everything. So what did you find? I guess there's probably a lot of local community, but you found that there's more of a national community. I've looked at there's the videos. There seems to be a community of people that torment themselves by eating peppers. The one guy upped the ante with eating 2 ghost peppers, and now I see videos, 20 ghost peppers.
Oh, yeah. It's a very macho thing to do, to eat this, eat this pepper that will hurt you. And it's very entertaining, man. It's entertaining to see somebody vomit. It's entertaining to see somebody's nose drip and their eyes water and then freak out like a 5-year-old that stubbed their toe,
The one guy, the one that ate the 2, and he's on there and he's talking and he just says, I don't have health insurance. I just about died laughing. It's like I'm freaking out a little bit here.
Well, I have a series that I did with my buddy Eric Robinson. Shout out. He'll be watching this. The last pepper review video that I did, we call the Drill Bit Challenge. You can look it up. What we did is we took these massive chocolate Trinidad scorpion peppers and a DeWalt drill, drilled holes in the top, and then filled them up with super hot. Filled the peppers up with super hot sauce.
As if it weren't enough that it's a hot pepper.
It was really entertaining, and I chewed it up. And the challenge is you chew it up for about 30 seconds to a minute, and you can't have anything to drink for about 5 minutes afterwards. And I think I lasted about a minute.
You couldn't do it anymore.
And then I was in his bathroom, violently ill, for about 45 minutes.
Oh God!
Yeah, he was fine. He was riding my daughter around on his quad, like through his neighborhood.
While you're like,
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So it seems like that there's kind of this arms race of eating the peppers, but there's also a community around like making hot sauce, around growing better peppers and that sort of thing, which seems far more sustainable as a entertaining endeavor, which I think might be kind of more our thing maybe we're going to do, along with harming ourselves with the peppers.
Yep.
So, but what are some of the personalities and things going on in the community of peppers?
Personalities as in?
Well, the people that I don't know if you want to mention people specifically, but
no names.
But what's kind of give me a sense of the whole thing. I guess there's, because someone wandering on upon this, hot sauce is Tabasco sauce, Sriracha sauce, and Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah.
So those are obviously probably what the vast majority of the industry, but there must be many like
thousands
micro breweries of peppers that make. And now, do people do they make like shake a pepper, or is it mostly hot sauce?
It's hot sauce ranging from mild to extreme sauces. Natural. There's different categories. There's natural hot sauces, and then there's hot sauces with extract.
Okay.
There's garlic and vinegar-based hot sauce like Tabasco, stuff like that, and then there's the fruit-based or kind of carrot-based. But yeah, it's a hobby. It's a subculture of people that love spice. Especially you'll find them all over social media. But yeah, I want to kind of go into let's not forget that the hot sauce industry itself it's a $1 billion industry, just the hot sauce industry. And I think it was a couple years ago the hot sauce surpassed ketchup and mayonnaise as the number one condiment.
Really?
In the United States.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think they kind of one passes the other every other year, but now they're making spicy ketchup. So I think that's kind of taking the lead.
You look at your ketchup, it's a whole lot of corn syrup. It's a hot sauce is something that you can flavor your food with guilt-free as far as your diets and things like that. It would seem it's kind of a nifty thing. It's kind of it's more intense, and it gives you a lot of flavor to something, and it's not putting a bunch of corn syrup on your thing with a little bit of vinegar in there.
Well, there is hot sauce. There's hobby hot sauce makers that start out cooking on their stovetop. They blend up some peppers and some spices, and they make a little recipe, and then they send them out to reviewers. And they build up their name, they get their name out there, and next thing you know, they have a co-packer, which is I believe somebody that makes the recipe for you, and you
give the recipe or whatever, things that are unique to your thing, and then they make it and bottle it,
label it, and produce cases after thousands of cases for you. And next thing you know, you're traveling the world, going to these hot sauce festivals, setting up booths.
Well, let's talk about those two things. Reviewers. What is? How do you become a hot sauce reviewer? Are there famous hot sauce reviewers?
Well, you just one. I think you have to be kind of an idiot. No, no, it's really anybody that can start up a YouTube channel. And here's the benefit of being a reviewer. Mm-hmm. You get free products.
Oh,
you know, you could say, you know, oh Bob, you know, I'm Bob. I'm a reviewer now. I got a camera and I got a YouTube channel, and
which I do.
And here, yeah,
which we do.
Yeah, and here's my address. Send me your products, and I will review it on camera and put it out there to social media for the world to see. And then next thing you know, you have all of these, you know, review orders of companies all over the place wanting you to do reviews. And there's some reputable reviewers out there that kind of make a living off of YouTube views, because you can generate some funds.
Oh, sure. Well, I would, as a neophyte, I would imagine that to do something like that, it might help to have some knowledge of the field and a refined palate from eating many hot sauces to where you kind of know what the heck you're talking about.
Right.
It's something like these wine reviewers, I would guess. Is that kind of how it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing what you're looking for, like the beer reviewers with the hops and this and that and the other thing, knowing enough about it to be able to intelligently speak about it.
Especially when you're going into the super hot sauces, you usually have a heat scale, and it's, you know, sometimes some reviewers do it a little different, from a heat scale from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, and then they have different scales for flavor. You know, let's talk about the fruitiness or the burn, where it burns you in your mouth or your throat.
It's a lot like wine.
Yep, exactly. You get, you know, talk about if you get the endorphin rush.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you said festivals. There's chili festivals?
There is, yeah.
So what's that like? Where are these, and how? What's the deal with that?
There are a few here locally. I think, chili pepper eating competitions, like Johnson Orchards, I believe, they do their annual chili pepper eating competition. There's the hot sauce festivals. I know we just had, is it High River Sauces over on the East Coast? They have a sort of a circuit of hot sauce festivals that they do. They do the New York Hot Sauce Festival. They do one in Arizona. They do one in Long Beach, and then Portland just had their second annual Hot Sauce Expo.
We missed it?
I didn't.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up we can go to?
Not here locally.
Okay.
You know, there are a few, you know, local hot wing joints that do their like Hot Mamas.
Yeah.
They do their annual Kamikaze Smackdown. It's their wing competition.
You go check that out.
Yeah.
We should go do some field trips. Go see some hot wing restaurants.
Yeah.
Is our wings the delivery system for hot sauce generally?
Yeah, sometimes. Yep. Yep.
So when these guys review it, though, do they put it on the wings, or do they just drink it, or what? Do they?
It's usually just a spoonful. Just straight. Yep.
Spoonful straight.
You get just nothing but the hot sauce, and my mouth is salivating right now. Just thinking about it.
Yeah. You know, Homer Simpson won one of those competitions by drinking the candle. Have you seen this?
Yeah, years back, I think I remember that one.
It was a classic moment when he drinks that candle by accident, and his whole mouth is coated with wax, and suddenly he's the king of the hot sauce. That's my experience with the pepper world.
Is that what you're gonna do?
I think I'd rather eat the pepper than have wax poured down my throat. That doesn't seem like fun at all.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
All right. So there's a lot of people that have YouTube shows where they eat the peppers. Would you say that and the reviewing are the most of the pepper world?
Meaning what?
Well, I guess there's also people that are like have the world's hottest pepper that are growing. How does there's many personalities around that too, right? People that are actually growing them, and what's that?
Well, there's definitely, you know, back to the drama piece. There's a lot of drama, and there's also a lot of money to be able to have, you know, the world's hottest pepper. There's, you know, to be able to claim like, hey, I got the world's hottest pepper. But there is a lot of drama actually surrounding the current world's hottest pepper.
Well, what's that about?
there's a lot of talk that that the Carolina Reaper is the same pepper as the 7-Pot Primo. They do look a lot alike. Supposedly, there's some scientific information out there backing that it's the same pepper. I haven't personally seen it. I have to share my experience with it. I did a side-by-side grow of the Carolina Reaper and the 7-Pot Primo, and they have different kind of growth patterns. The leaves are different. The Carolina Reaper is definitely hotter. The 7-Pot Primo, usually the peppers are smaller. They both do have those stingers,
right?
But the Carolina Reaper is a lot larger and a lot hotter.
So, in your opinion, this controversy is misplaced?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there I guess is the Guinness Book of World Records the the ultimate authority on what's hottest?
It is. Yep. In this industry, supposedly there's another one coming out. The Pepper X.
I have heard of this.
But then there's also the one that that we're going to be cooking up on. So stay tuned to that. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next several episodes. We're kind of getting into that. But it's a interesting industry, man. It's I'm sure that's probably a lot similar to the cannabis industry. Who's got the better lights? Who's got the better soil? Who's got the better nutrients? Who's got the better strains?
It's probably that with all kinds of things like, polishing your car or the ship in a bottle guys are probably
right. But the chili pepper industry, like Brad, like that guy Brad said, it's a vegetable.
Yeah, it does.
It's a vegetable.
Well, what ultimately matters, does anything matter, But on the scale of things that matter, it's got to be way down there. But gosh, anything that you get passionate about, like you said, you got 20 and then you got 100. Pretty soon it's what you're thinking about. That's your deal, and it's hard not to get passionate about it, especially when someone else is coming up against you, with a disagreement about it.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully some people will disagree with us and we can get passionate about it too.
Yeah.
We can get into some...
I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
This is it. It's been my hobby for quite a few years now, and I don't know what it is. It's. I used to do a lot of gold mining.
Oh, yeah?
And it's very similar to kind of that gold fever.
Oh, yeah.
It's really similar for whatever reason. If it's the world's hottest or, just growing a pepper with a stinger or what it is. Like, you just get this buzz. You get this addiction to chili peppers, or at least that's my experience.
Oh, I think so. I got a buddy that's a crab fisherman up in the Bering Sea, that whole thing. And when he comes home, he's just on pins and needles. He can't relax. It's like, it's just because, up there he's 24/7 that you're driving the boat and you're going to die if you don't focus. And when he gets back, he just like, I think I'll go play some craps. I think I'm going to drive to Nevada. I think I'll go to it's just like, because it's just, you get that feeling is addictive. And with something like this, you can do it 24 hours a day.
You can.
All year long. So that's neat. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
I have to say that chili peppers and my obsession and my hobby, it definitely affected my past relationship.
Oh, really?
It was, there's a weird sense of jealousy there. Which is kind of odd.
Well, I understand that. With doing the show here, I know it's not a big deal with the show, but I've always wanted to do a show.
Right.
And so, if I'm not careful, everything in my life is either something that helps me with that show or is in the way of that show. And so you get this feeling, and then you got to wait a minute. That's just your job. That's not you. And that, the missus and the kids and eating and all these other things, those are important too. So you gotta
food is important.
You gotta focus on those things. But it's like I said, it's easy to get into that thing where you're doing something and that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, nifty. I can't wait. I hope we can remain healthy about it.
And our relationships are, remain intact.
I think I've got my head screwed on with that one, but time will tell. I guess the missus will tell me if I'm getting out of hand. She'll just shut me down. She's like, "You're done." Okay, baby. Well, cool. I guess that's that's a pretty good place to hang it up there. What do you think you want to do as far as growing this world's hottest pepper?
Oh, meaning what? I mean,
we got a few seeds from these ones here.
Yep.
And so, I mean, do you think that ultimately it'll be grown from the seeds that we have now, or is it seeds down the road from those?
No, I think it'll work out with these seeds.
Okay. So, do you think we have enough, or we need to?
I think it will be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And we'll just start doing some different protocols with those.
Yep.
Working with the nectar for the God stuff and trying some other stuff and things. And just, do you think that growing the happiest pepper, at least in the initial stages of its life, is the way to get the hottest pepper? By just pushing it as hard as you can with nutrients, with good, solid, natural type nutrients, but the calcium and such, but giving it as much as it'll take?
Yeah, just force feeding it. Yep.
So
we'll definitely do some side by sides. I think if we do a couple plants without, and just watch how they produce, watch how they grow, and then just force feed them with the nectar.
Well, and I think a lot of the people that are watching the show that don't necessarily watch the pepper show but are watching the nectar show, that this might be interesting because we talk about more advanced concepts or what we're trying to get into with that as far as what we're going to do with because we've been doing a lot of basics of how to mix it, how the pH and those kinds of things. I think with this we're going to get into maybe like the balancing the bloom chaos against the herc to see how far you can push it. So using the nutrients in the line to make it to where it'll take up more of the herc and just see how far we can really push it by pushing it past its limits and then backing off that much. So I think,
so your audience, it sounds like you've been showing them how to mix it up, this and that. Now we get to show everybody how to apply it and how it produces.
Absolutely. I think also what we'll probably run into is hopefully we won't, but I think we will, is some pest issues with pest pressure because we're pushing so hard in an indoor environment that we're going to have those kinds of things to deal with too. So we'll be able to look at that. Mariah LaChapelle, I don't think you've met Mariah.
No, I haven't met her
yet. She's brilliant. She's brilliant, and she's integrated pest management is her thing. Getting ahead of it. And so I think we'll try to get her to come into and help us a little bit out with that. Okay. And then also I've got the guys downstairs have volunteered to be worker bees, whatever we need them to do with keeping the room. Colin just today was down there cleaning up the whole room with the Xeritol to get it just spick and span.
Yeah, it looks beautiful down there.
Yeah, so pretty cool. So we got some help, and we got you. That's what we need.
Chili peppers, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll go do some field trips, go see some chili pepper restaurants, and maybe if there's a festival coming up, I think we got to go. Okay. And then maybe we can get into an argument with some of your buddies.
Or we could do our own little chili pepper festival.
Well, now you're talking.
I have plenty of peppers. Okay. We could just get a few of the guys together and maybe do a little potluck. And then do some chili eating on video.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we got plenty to do a show. There you go. All right. That's it for today. Okay. So I hope I haven't bored you to death. And if you're still here, boy, I appreciate you watching the whole video. In fact, you know what? I got one of these one-shot shirts for one of y'all. This is the front. It has the new Nectar Fam where it's down the side, and then it's got the one-shot logo on the back there. So the first person to comment in the comments and say one-shot in the comments, so I know you were listening, I'm going to send you out this shirt or one of these in your size. So that's that. And then let me say too is that when we first started the other shows, the things we've been doing on here and on the Facebooks and all that, it's very different now from what it was then, and it was because of the feedback from you all. And I really feel like we can have a lot of fun with this World's Hottest Pepper thing, but I don't feel like we're anywhere near there yet. So I'd like your feedback, your thoughts on what we can do to have kind of a fun show, maybe a little more story to it, a little more drama, a little more just fun stuff. So let me know what you think. One of you, somebody comment with one shot in there and win that shirt. And that's it for today. I'll see you next week, and we'll get this thing on track a little better. I don't feel like we're off track, but I feel like we can be a lot better and a lot more entertaining, and build a big community of us where we can have some fellowship together, and have a good time. So I love you, and I'm going to see you on Monday.